On December the 2nd, 2006, amongst the leafy suburbs of Thorpe's Hill, a member of the public discovered the body of a young, blonde, naked woman lying in the waters of Belstead Brook. This woman sparked the beginning of a sensational police investigation into the horrifying murders of 5 young prostitutes by the Suffolk Strangler. The body was that of 25-year-old Gemma Adams. Gemma was born and raised in Ipswich by a middle-class family and was, by all reports, a popular, well-loved child. As a teenager, Gemma succumbed to the vices of heroin, losing her respectable job at an insurance firm. She began working as a prostitute to finance her drug addiction. Her partner at the time was fully aware of her role as a sex worker and was also an active heroin user. Sadly, her family were unaware of the dangerous and life-threatening lifestyle Gemma was leading. Before the discovery of her naked corpse in the affluent area of Hintlesham, Gemma had been reported missing by her partner, John Simpson, in the early hours of the 14th of November. Little did John know that 1 month earlier, on the eve of Halloween, the family of Annette Nichols had done the very same. 2 miles away from where Gemma had been discovered, and just 6 days later, the body of 19-year-old Annette Nichols was discovered by police divers in a village stream near Copdock Mill. Tanya, like Gemma, was found dumped in the water, naked. No signs of sexual assault. Detectives quickly noticed the similarities between the victims. Tanya funded her addiction to both heroin and cocaine through prostitution, her vices hidden from her family. Her bereaved mother thought she had been working in a hairdresser's or bar. The police issued a warning to the town's working women: "Be on your guard." But this warning was all too little too late, as 48 hours later, another body was discovered. This serial killer was evolving. The last sighting of Anna Lee Alderton alive was on the 1815 Manningtree train to Ipswich on the 3rd of December. The next sighting of Anna Lee was 7 days later, when she was found dead, discarded in woodland surrounding a small private school, Amberfield. Naked, asphyxiated and posed, Anna Lee's arms were outstretched in a cruciform position. The police had to inform Anna Lee's family that the autopsy revealed she was 3 months pregnant. She was survived by her 5-year-old son, Freddie. As with the victims before, Anna Lee worked the streets of Ipswich. Her life was what the police referred to as chaotic. She had been arrested for fighting outside a pub, attacking a police officer, and had been jailed 3 times for theft. Her normal was drug and alcohol abuse, which she had turned to at 16 years old, following her father's death from lung cancer. A photo of the 24-year-old was circulating. The image cut a haunting figure on the newsstands. Her dark and tired eyes revealed a short life of struggle and drug dependency. It was clear that the killer was targeting vulnerable women, too concerned with funding their drug addictions to consider the risks before them. On December the 12th, 2006, the case took a disturbing turn, starting with the grim discovery of Paula Clanell. At 24-year-old, Paula was a regular working down at Ipswich Red Light District. She had 3 children, all removed from her custody into care or adopted, due to her all-consuming relationship with the hard drug heroin. On the 5th of December, Paula had appeared live on Anglia News discussing the rising anxieties of sex workers in the area. In her interview, she spoke candidly to reporters of being beaten in the past by customers, and how she and other fellow sex workers were a bit wary about getting into cars. London Road, Ipswich Red Light District, was an area that all the victims frequented, and despite heavy police presence, the killer remained undeterred. In a chilling premonition, Paula told the news team that she was prepared to go back to working on the streets, simply stating, "I need the money." Her body was spotted by a pedestrian, naked and dumped hurriedly in the undergrowth off Old Felixstowe Road, near Levington. There was evidence of a struggle, but no sexual assault. Blood-stained fluid leaked from her mouth, and marks on her body were consistent with her corpse being dragged through the undergrowth by her killer. This unsettling discovery reached its pinnacle when a police helicopter overhead spotted another female body within close proximity of Paula. The body, laid out in the shape of a crucifix, led police to the 5th victim of the serial killer, Annette Nichols. Annette, a mother of 1, her life derailed and destroyed by heroin, also found herself walking the streets of Ipswich Red Light District. Embarrassed by her decline into sex work, she begged her friends, "Don't tell anyone you saw me here." Which is why, on December the 4th, following the widespread coverage of the murders, Annette is reported missing by her worried family. She is the last reported alive on the 8th, walking around Ipswich Centre. By the 12th of December, her body is found. Similarly to the findings outside Amberfield School, Annette was discovered positioned in the cruciform position. She was naked, with no signs of sexual assault or struggle, but post-mortem once again revealed the victim's breathing had been restricted. Suffolk had a serial killer on the loose.
I'll just walk down and ask, and then.
Who was he? On December the 18th and 19th of 2006, two suspects were arrested on suspicion of murdering all 5 women. The first suspect, a 37-year-old man from Felixstowe, was released after the maximum detention time of 96 hours was reached. The second suspect, after 36 hours of questioning, was charged. His name, Steve Wright. Once a chef in the Merchant Navy, Steve Wright's adult life was rough with ever-changing jobs, divorce, debt, 2 failed suicide attempts and prostitutes. Unbeknown to his partner at the time, Wright was a regular customer of the red light district and he blended in as a shy and quiet guy. Locals referred to him as a good bloke, someone you could talk to. The police, however, uncovered his terrifying double life. The DNA evidence collected from the scenes was more conclusory than coincidental. The court outlined the DNA and fibre evidence tying Wright to the crimes. The blood from both Paula and Annette was found on his jacket. Gloves found in his car, stained with semen and Paula's DNA. Fibres on his clothing, furniture and car that linked to all 5 women. And, despite their decomposition from being immersed in water, Gemma and Tanya also bore fibres linking to Wright. Notably, distinctive fibres found on Wright's home and clothing were found in both the women's hair. Wright's plea? Not guilty. It took the jury less than 8 hours to convict Steve Wright to life imprisonment for the murders of Gemma Adams, Tanya Nichols, Annette Alderton, Annette Nichols, and Paula Clanell. It is unknown what drove Steve Wright on the 6-week-long killing spree, and police continue to investigate Wright's possible connection with several other unsolved murders and disappearances.